In this video, I'm going to show you how I repaired my wood floor on a budget. As you can see, a piece of wood broke off one of the planks in my wood floor. After speaking with a floor repair professional, he suggested I repair it myself using some wood filler and glue. The first thing he said to do was to get some sort of wood putty and inject it into the hole to help fill any voids or gaps near the hole between the wood floor and the subfloor. So I used a caulk gun and this acrylic joint filler, which was the only thing close to wood putty that I could find that worked in a caulk gun. As I was filling the hole, I found another piece of wood that had broken off the plank, so I removed it. I then used a popsicle stick to help spread the joint filler around inside the hole. When I was done, I cleaned up the area and then put some painter's tape over the hole to let the joint filler set for the recommended 4 to 6 hours. I fully intended to get back to work on this repair after the joint filler finished setting. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Okay, it's been a few months since I put that glue or silicone or whatever it is in there, and I'm getting tired of looking at this blue tape, so I'm going to try and put some wood putty in there and then maybe fit these things back in. Sorry for the shadow. I got some tools here. I'm going to try and use this old popsicle stick and a vacuum to vacuum it out because it's probably gotten a ton of cat hair in there. And then I'm going to use this stuff to fill up most of it, and then this stuff, which is close to a color match with the wood piece, to put it on top. And then if it's not sitting in there, I'm gonna try some wood glue. But my goal is to kind of like pack it down in here and then place this in there to get like an impression going of like, you know, so I know how high it needs to be. Then let it set, and then I'm gonna fit this in and probably use the wood glue to glue it in place. And I should say, if I haven't mentioned this before, that I brought in a wood floor repair guy to do it, and he looked at it and he said he would have to take up multiple pieces to fix this one little thing, and it would cost, I think he said maybe $1,000. I asked him for a quote and he never got back to me, but he suggested I do this, so I'm not just doing this willy-nilly. At the end of the day, I plan on living in this house long term, so this is gonna be my problem for the foreseeable future. You know, it's not a perfect fix, but if you can see, there's already some fixing that was done when I had the house renovated, so this just kind of goes with the character of the house. I mean, the house at this point is close to 75 years old, you know. At some point, these floors are probably gonna have to be redone. I don't know how many more sandings there are in them. So this may not be the most correct way to do it, but this is probably the least amount of work, least amount of money to get a halfway decent result out of it. So just bear with me. I wouldn't recommend this for every wood floor fix, and again, I'm not an expert, so here we go. I'm gonna get started. This tape has been on here for a while, but fortunately it's just painter's tape, so hopefully it doesn't leave a big sticky residue. Huh, looks like it helped keep some of the crap out of there. All right. My real concern is that this putty won't go in there very easily. And just to give you an idea, again, that's what we're working with here. Use a popsicle for scale here, so, you know, kind of goes across. And I've already painted or glued this back together. The cats were playing with it. All right, so let's start with vacuuming it out as best I can. Apologize for the noise. thing. Ah, seems relatively clean in there. I mean, there's some dirt and debris, but whatever. All right, so as I said, I'm gonna start with this stuff. Stainable wood filler. I don't plan on staining it. All right, here we go. Here goes nothing. That went in relatively easy. Let's place this thing in and well, let's work this down a little bit. Try and fill it as much as possible. This is like other wood putty that I worked with. When it dries, it's gonna contract a little bit and not be super flush. I'd rather it fill the cavity completely than there be any air in it, so that it doesn't, so the wood, you know, when I put the little wood piece back in, it doesn't sink down into it. Let's put a little bit more in there. If anything comes out, when I place this wood in, I'll just wipe it off. Like I'm icing a cake or something. This is kind of ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna test fit this in here. I think this goes on this end here. Oh yeah, a lot of it's squeezing out there. Maybe. I might not need the glue. It's so snug in there. Let's put this little piece in. I think this guy goes like that. No, he doesn't seem to want to go like that. I think he goes maybe like that. No, I think I hit it right the first time, so force it in there. There goes the glue. Let's do a little wipe away here. Probably should have used the color match stuff first. Yeah. I may pry that out and remove some and put some of the color match stuff in there and then just leave it. Actually, it doesn't look terrible except for that color. I think I'm gonna do that. You know, live and learn, whatever. It's just wood putty. So let me pry this back out here. If anything, you guys can learn from my mistakes or just roast me in the comments. I'm used to it at this point. Yep, that glue broke. Whatever. So let's put it in the way. Put it on the. Oh, that one's really in there. That's what she said. Okay. Oh, come on. All right. Well, at least I know it's going to fit in there. Let me try some of this. Get a bit of this out. Actually, it might be a bit too much in there. Let's take some of it out. I'd rather the color match stuff be in there. I seem to have used this at some point. There we go. All right, let's try this again. There. Oh yeah, lovely yellow and brown mixture. I think there was you. And you. Much got a little waved up here, but you're fine. Is that not the way you want to go? Come on. Nope. Yeah, you were like that. That's. Come on. see. Let's see what's happening here. Oh man, I'm making a mess. Whatever. Let's wipe this up a little bit and see what we're working with here. A little crazy with the cheese whiz, didn't I? And that one's in there pretty good. If anything, it's a little bit depressed into it. All right. And then this one should go like so. There's something wrong here. Why isn't this fitting in the way it's supposed to? That's in, that's definitely in. But this one, for some dumb reason, just doesn't want to. There's something here. Maybe this is it? Is this what's holding it up? Or is this just another piece of the floor? I don't know. Let's see what that does. Interesting. That's getting there. All right, let's figure out where this goes here. I think it goes like that. Like that, maybe. This looks like old wood putty, so I'm just gonna. Yep, the way it broke, it's just wood putty. So I am just gonna fill it with this, fill the cavity with this and kind of smooth it as much as I can. And I may have to do this a couple times. I don't know, I don't think it looks too bad. Feels okay. Here, let's take a look. So you can see right there, kind of like puttied it over a little bit. This putty's a little wet there. I'll probably go over it again, but we'll see. I'm gonna put some tape over it, just to keep the cats away from it while it dries. The back of the thing says it should dry in 4 to 6 hours, so maybe by this evening I'll check it out. And here it is cleaned up. I put some painter's tape over it, and the cats are inspecting it, checking my work. If that putty doesn't hold, I will resort to the wood glue, but I think the putty might be a good basis for it. But again, there is always the wood glue now that I know it fits in there. I just wanted to build it up underneath because some of the wood underneath for some reason wasn't there, wasn't replaced when the house was renovated. Anyway, I'll check back later and see how it dried up. Okay, so it's been a couple days. You can see where the repair was done here. I had to come back in and add a little bit more wood putty that was color matched. Down here, and there was a little hole like right there that I had to fill in. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty good. Before I shot this video, I actually kind of struggled to find the crack. If you look at it from the side, like at an angle where the light's hitting it, you can see where it's not polished because there's wood putty, so, but that doesn't bother me. It seems pretty strong, and I think it'll hold up. If it doesn't, you know, I'll add some more wood putty. I never did actually use the glue, so that's always an option too, but I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. I think it's a decent fix on a DIY budget. It's certainly better than paying a couple grand to have pieces of the floor removed. So anyway, thanks for watching.